She was the most dangerous patient in a psychiatric hospital in Eastern Europe. But more than that, she was a master manipulator. At first glance, she looked like an innocent little girl. In reality, she was a 30-year-old woman who had stopped growing at the age of 10 due to a rare condition. Her childlike appearance made it easy for her to deceive people, and that's exactly what she did. One cold winter day, a new therapist arrived at the facility. He wanted to use his expertise to help the patients. The hospital was heavily guarded, and after a security check, the head of the institution brought him to the secure ward on the upper floors. While they were talking, a staff member rushed in with shocking news. Their most dangerous patient, the girl woman known as Sweetie, had gone missing. The facility immediately went into lockdown, and a search was launched. To ensure his safety, the head locked the therapist in a room he thought was secure. But to everyone's surprise, Sweetie was already hiding inside that room. Clutching a sharpened pencil, she slowly approached the therapist, ready to attack. But just in time, the head of the hospital arrived with backup. Realizing she was outnumbered, Sweetie surrendered without a fight. Later, the head explained her background to the therapist. 2 years earlier, Sweetie had pretended to be a runaway child and was taken in by a kind family. In the past, she would usually steal from those who helped her and then disappear, but this time, she went a step further. She erased the entire family's names from the household registry. Sweetie loved to draw and often played cruel pranks on the other patients. That very night, a guard approached her room. Sweetie had already planned her escape. She lured the guard inside, knocked him unconscious, and took his access card. She rushed to the hospital entrance, ready to flee. Meanwhile, the therapist was about to drive away when her windshield wipers smeared what looked like blood. Shocked, she looked up, and there was Sweetie, standing right in front of her car. Terrified, the therapist ran back to the hospital and told the head that she couldn't do this job anymore. Later, when she finally drove home, she had no idea Sweetie was hiding in the trunk of her car. The moment she stepped into her house, Sweetie attacked her. After seriously injuring the therapist, Sweetie made herself comfortable in the house. She drank wine, played the piano, and enjoyed herself. To cover her tracks, she searched online for a missing girl who looked like her and found one, someone who had vanished 4 years ago. Once everything was in place, she planned to leave. But just as she reached the door, she noticed the therapist was still alive. Without hesitation, she ended her life. One day, Sweetie was sitting alone on a swing when a patrolling officer walked by. She claimed to be the missing girl who had been kidnapped 4 years ago and that her parents were in the U.S. Back in the U.S., the girl's father had never recovered from her disappearance. He gave up his passion for painting and spent his days in despair. The detective who had worked on the case finally found the parents and told them their daughter might still be alive. The mother flew to the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, where she was reunited with Sweetie, who was playing the piano when she arrived. 4 years is a long time, especially for a child. Changes in appearance were to be expected. The woman believed the girl was her daughter, and the two embraced. Sweetie, with her mature mind and convincing mannerisms, played the part perfectly. She flew back to the U.S. with the mother. At the airport, the father and older brother were waiting. The father cried with joy upon seeing his daughter again. He didn't notice anything strange. The brother, however, was stunned. He couldn't believe this was his sister. Sweetie had read about the real girl online, but she didn't know the finer details of her life. As a result, she made several small mistakes. The next day, the mother took Sweetie to see a therapist. The professional noticed something was off during their conversation and quietly shared her concerns with the mother. But Sweetie, eavesdropping from the next room, quickly interrupted the conversation with a clever trick, buying herself more time. On the way home, she spotted the detective who had worked the original missing person case secretly taking her photo. That made her nervous. Back home, the father brought Sweetie to his art studio. Being a lonely man in his early 40s, he had an air of quiet strength, and Sweetie was drawn to him. She made a silent vow to win his affection. During dinner, the detective confronted the family again, clearly suspicious. Sweetie realized she needed to leave, but as she was about to run, she saw the father and changed her mind. The next night, Sweetie walked in on the parents being intimate. Watching the man she liked with someone else filled her with jealousy. In a fit of rage, she destroyed an expensive dress the mother had just bought. While the parents went out to a party, only the brother and Sweetie remained at home. the brother invited a group of friends over for drinks. Meanwhile, the detective returned and took a record containing Sweetie's fingerprints. She saw him do it and panicked. If those prints were analyzed, the truth would come out. She followed him to his home. At the same time, the mother, back from the party, found Sweetie's book. Inside were notes about the real girl and a stamp from the mental institution in Eastern Europe. The detective compared the fingerprints that night. They didn't match. Just as he was staring at the photo, trying to make sense of it all, Sweetie appeared behind him, with a knife. Right then, the mother showed up and picked up the detective's dropped weapon. Under the light, she ended his life. But what was really going on? The truth was shocking. The mother had known all along that Sweetie was an impostor. For years earlier, the daughter had gotten into a fight with her brother, who accidentally caused her death. To protect her son, the mother covered it up, lied to her husband, and made the body disappear. She claimed the girl had gone missing. Even though she could have ended Sweetie then and there, she didn't, because she wanted to keep up appearances for her husband. She warned Sweetie to keep playing the role of the daughter. Otherwise, she'd send her back to the institution. To cover their tracks, the mother used the detective's email account to send a message to the police, saying he was taking a long vacation. Then, she and Sweetie dumped his body into a dried-up well, the same place where the real girl had been buried. Back home, the brother suggested they get rid of Sweetie immediately. But the mother, always calculating, said it wasn't the right time yet. The next day, they brought Sweetie back to the therapist. With the mother's help, Sweetie now had enough details to pass the test. That night, the family hosted a big party. Sweetie, under the mother's guidance, played her part perfectly. No one suspected a thing. Now the mother believed it was time. She planned to poison Sweetie and claim the daughter had gone missing again. But Sweetie didn't trust the food. Instead, she fed it to a rat. Later that night, she found the rat dead. The next day, while the father was in town handling his art business, Sweetie sensed something was coming. She tried to strike first, but someone unknowingly interrupted her plan. She knew she had to escape. She stole the mother's car keys and sped off. The mother quickly called the police. While driving, Sweetie was singing and smoking, feeling free, until the cops pulled her over and brought her home. That night, the mother and brother decided it was time to finish things. But they had underestimated her. In the chaos that followed, Sweetie used a crossbow to take out the brother, then engaged in a fierce fight with the mother. Both were strong, and the battle was brutal. But due to her small size, Sweetie was thrown across the room. As they fought, a fire broke out in the kitchen. Flames spread quickly, consuming the house. Cornered, Sweetie climbed to the roof. The mother followed. Just then, the father returned by taxi, alerted by the police. He saw both women clinging to the edge of the roof, unsure who to save. In a flash, the mother lost her grip and fell to her death. He quickly pulled Sweetie to safety, only to discover her false teeth. Realizing he'd been deceived, he stared in shock. Sweetie didn't hesitate. She pushed him off the edge. Just like that, the whole family was gone. People who didn't know the truth pitied Sweetie, believing she had lost her entire family in one night. So, they sent her to an orphanage. And that's how the story connects to the critically acclaimed 2009 film Orphan. 13 years later, Isabelle Fuhrman, who was just 12 when she first played the role, returned for the prequel. But at 25, no matter how well she acted, her face now looked far too mature to pass as a child.